Shall we start, sir?
Record on agide.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, one and all present here. I am Sudeep J, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Science and Engineering. Welcome you all for this webinar on Entrepreneurs Roadmap to a Success. On this beautiful occasion, let us pray Almighty God to give us wealth, health, prosperity, and peace. Now, before we begin this session, there are a few things that I want to convey to all the participants who are there. I was just wondering if life is like a game, like those we have in our phones. Just like the games are divided into different levels, our life has also different stages. Each level has its own difficulties, but crossing this will enable us what we are veteran today. Going by this, I would like to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Bansi Lal, who is an inspiration to all of us. On behalf of NIAT family and NIAT Alumni Association, I welcome you, sir. Next, any event begins with the blessings of President. Now, I would like to welcome our NIAT Alumni Association President, Dr. Archana NV, for giving the permission to host this event. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Nalini KB, NIAT Alumni Association Secretary for this event. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome our beloved HOD, Dr. Nandini MS, who is the backbone for conducting this event. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sudeep.
Next, I request Nandini madam to say a few words about this event to all the August gathering.
Okay, Sudeep.
Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Is it audible? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You are audible.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope all of you are safe and doing well. Coming to the session, firstly, I want to appreciate Mr. Sudeep J, Mr. Girish S.C., Assistant Professors of ISC, for coming up with this idea of conducting session on entrepreneurship. And also, I want to appreciate Mr. Nagendra, programmer, for supporting to run this session. Secondly, I am proud to say that our alumni, Mr. Diston Jacob, is one of the successful entrepreneur, and he's giving session on how to become an entrepreneur and steps and tips involved in it. Please make best use of it. All the best. Thank you all. Yes, word Sudeep.
Thank you, ma'am. Your words are inspiration to everyone. So now let us start with the session. Before we begin the session, there is a saying in Sanskrit, Karmanye vadikaraste ma paleshu kadachala ma karpalya hetu bhama te sangotsak karmani. See, the above learning says that you have the right to work, but never to its fruits. So let us not let the fruit of action be your motive, and not your particular attachment. Okay, so let us say before we begin this session, entrepreneurs is the session that we are talking for today's session. So entrepreneurs often decide what fruit they want, and they start working on something. If we think there are no fruits, we would definitely put it in any efforts. So however, as the saying reflects, any process should not be burdened with expectation of fruits. So one must enjoy the process. So this gives us the entropy that is necessary for experimentation, freedom for failure, and encourage to stand back again so that we can continue against all the odds. Now, I request my peer, Mr. Girish sir, to introduce the guest of speaker for today's function. Over to you, Girish sir.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Girish, Assistant Professor at Department of ISE. And now I would like to introduce today's speaker and also my student. It's my pleasure to read the profile of my student. It's my pleasure. So, Diston Jacob did its diploma in computer science Vidyavardhaka College in the year 2011-2014 and B Bachelor of Commerce through distance education at Himalayan University and BE at NIE Institute of Technology and Masters of Science in Supply Chain Management, Rennes School of Business, France. He worked as a purchasing analyst during the year June 2015 to June 2016, and his roles are establishing and maintaining professional business relationships with vendors and service providers, and reviewing blueprints and product specifications, and problem solving any production scheduling and capacity planning by analyzing the data. Currently, he is working as Assistant Purchasing and Operations Manager at joiners, fabricators, and directors. His roles are setting up the cost monitoring and reporting systems and procedures, and is managing vendor relationship and building effective supply chain partnerships, maintaining records of supplier contracts, agreements, goods ordered received, and provides information to supervisors, co-workers, and subordinates by telephone in written form or email or in person. So once again, I welcome my student and today's speaker, Diston Jacob, to this webinar. Thank you, Diston.
It's an honor actually, and I'm happy to listen to my biodata, that too from my lecturer. And I'm actually thankful to all my lecturers. And first of all, I wish to I wish to thank my principal, my HOD, and my dear lecturers for giving me a chance to address the present batch, because it is a hilarious moment for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope we can start up with the session as of now.
Yeah, thank you, Diston. Thank you, Girish sir, for a nice, wonderful introduction about our speaker, Mr. Diston Jacob. Thank you, Girish sir. So before we begin, a small quip, and then we'll start the session. There is a popular sloka in Sanskrit which actually highlights the importance of hard work. So let me just quote that, and then we can start the session. Udyamehi siddhyati karyani na manorati nahi suptasya sinyaha pari pravashanti muke bruhaha. What this means is there is no substitute for any hard work. Merely wishing and fantasizing about one's goal isn't going to lead you anywhere. For example, a deer does not enter into a sleeping lion's mouth. A lion also cannot escape the hard work of hunting. So, with this quote, I would like to hand over the session to Diston Jacob. Over to you, Diston, and welcome you all for this event.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Over to
I'll
you,
be
Diston.
sharing the screen as of now. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, Diston, you are audible.
Yes, yes. Okay, let me start up with the session, and I hope that this would be an interactive session. And if someone comes across some doubts or some queries, kindly ping me up in the chat box so that I'll get back to you at the end of the session. So as my lecturers told, and they gave me a brief, they gave you people a brief introduction about me. I'm an alumni of NIIT 2017 passed out batch from NIIT Mysore. My name is Diston Jacob, and I work as a purchasing and operations manager for joiners. So, hello.
Yes, Diston, we can hear you.
Okay.
You can put it in full screen mode, Diston.
Okay, these are the agendas what we are gonna talk about, because this is not something that I have prepared from someone else's ideas. These are my ideas. Hello. Hello.
Yes, you are audible, Diston.
Yes, okay. These are my ideas, my findings that I needed to share with you people. Okay, so today's ideas is such that how to,
Please
what do
put
you
it
know
in.
about
Sorry to
entrepreneurship?
interrupt you.
Okay,
Sorry to interrupt you, Diston. Please put it in the full screen mode. Your presentation is not in full screen mode.
actually, I have given the control.
Sir, please allow my request, sir. Please allow my
Yes, I have.
request.
Yes, I have allowed it. And it is already in full screen.
No, it's not in full screen mode, I guess. Nagendra sir, can you share the screen, please, so that we can navigate?
No, sir, it is not full screen, sir.
Nagendra sir, can you share the screen? Diston Jacob, are you comfortable with Nagendra sir sharing the screen?
Yes, it's fine with me. Not an issue.
Yeah, okay. Nagendra sir, you can share the screen. Please unshare your screen, sir. Diston.
Okay. Yeah, I have unshared it.
Nagendra sir, please share your screen and put it in full screen mode. You can just tell next and Nagendra sir will navigate the screen.
Not a problem.
Okay, sir. Participants, sorry for the inconvenience from our end. Yes,
Okay, sir.
Distance, sir. Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, shall we start?
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure,
Yeah,
Diston, you
as
can
I was,
continue.
yeah. Next slide, please. So as I told, these are the agendas that we are gonna speak about, because these are not something that we took from someone else's ideas. These are the ideas that I came up with. So these are the ideas and we will be speaking about it. Next slide, please. Okay, let's know something about entrepreneur today. So how many knows about something called entrepreneurship? Because it's quite normal nowadays, because almost all people, almost 70% of people are onto entrepreneurship today, because it is less cost and something that doesn't need much efficient workers. Only your ideas is required just to make it run. So next slide, please. Okay, so what is entrepreneurship? Joseph Alois Schumpeter, he was a person who introduced entrepreneurship, the ideas behind the entrepreneurship long back to our youngsters. So what is entrepreneurship? And actually it is an French word originated from, which means entreprendre, to undertake, the English version of it. So the French people are very business oriented, so they are good at it. So they originated this word from it. That is the idea, and that has the idea we are also using today. So I have used a term called as KPI. That is a professional word which is called as key performance indicators to be a successful entrepreneur, which means innovation, productivity, and efficient competition. These are the three golden rules that an entrepreneur should possess if they need to be successful in their life. When a person, and another point we come across is when a person realizes his ability or capacity and makes it practical, then a new business unit arises, that which in turn says in entrepreneurship. To give an example, a person who has an idea but is not ready to come up with that idea with a practical knowledge or doing it in a practical way, then he won't be a successful person. That is the idea what I meant here. So I took a quote from my mentor, my mentor who used to support me during my business school. That is, ideas do not change the world. It's the implementation that makes the difference. As I told, although if you have an idea, you can't be successful until and unless you implement that in real life. That is what it says. Next slide, please. Okay, so then I came up with two new concepts. What are the traditional concepts of being an entrepreneur and a modern concept of being an entrepreneur? So the traditional concept is such that ability and aptitude to bear various types of business related risk and faces that uncertainties. So first let's know what is uncertainty. Suppose I'm a guy who has started a small shop and I need supplies from different places. So due to the pandemic, it is very unpredictable about the products coming to the shops. So how do you overcome those uncertainties? That is that how do you overcome those problems? That is called as uncertainties. Even though you have the resource, you are not able to get the resources. That is what it means, uncertainties. That was the traditional concepts wherein people have met and come across uncertainties in major times. That is the reason where people didn't click. That means they didn't come up in their business. So today's modern concept, it has been evolved a lot, and a drastic evolution has happened in modern concept. The ability to establish new enterprise and carrying out various new improvements in the enterprises. So it comes to the flow. You you are going through a situation and you get to know new things from the flow. So you get adapt to the situation on time basis, and you can become a successful entrepreneur with success failures. At last the motto should be a success. That is what it means. Next slide, please. So these are the characteristics what an entrepreneur should possess. Economic and dynamic activity, these are both major roles which plays a important thing in an entrepreneur's life, which involves the creation and operation of enterprises with a new view to creating value or wealth. New ideas should be evolved now and then, because you don't have a what to say a timetable in your life or an entrepreneur's life. Things should happen this way. No, that won't happen. If that happened, that could be happened only in big MNCs because they have a system to be followed. But in an entrepreneur's life, it goes through the flow, as I told before. So the other things are value creation activity. Whatever you're doing, it should create an impact. People should start recognizing you. That is the major important thing that an entrepreneur should possess. So these things should be performed continuously. Sometimes a lot of failures would be facing by an entrepreneur. For example, 4 to 5 trials, then you will achieve one success, and that success you can taste it very well. So entrepreneurship is regarding a dynamic force too, that which a person should possess from himself. So related to innovation, when it comes to related to innovation is, it compels an individual to continuously evaluate the existing mode of business operations so that more efficient and effective system can be involved and adapted. So the things what you're doing, even if it's a small thing, should do it in an effective and efficient way. So the for every action, something you should get from it. That is what it meant, because you can't just advertise something and not get something in return. That is what it meant actually. So when it comes to risk bearing, an entrepreneur is always a risk bearer. Lots of humiliation, lots of failures, lots of insults. These all are part of entrepreneur's life. But once he comes to the top level, no one can touch him. That is the idea behind it. So entrepreneurs is willing to assume risk Not only to assume risk, but also to take risk. That is what I meant actually. Results need not be instantaneous and positive. As I said, it is strategic. Strategic means you plan something on a long term, day by day progress. The progress should be seen, but you need not look for the success all of a sudden. All of a sudden, you need not look for the success. The thing is, day by day, the the escalation should be going up rather than going down. If the escalation is going down, that means your idea is wrong. The idea, the vision about your project is wrong. So when you get a result of small escalation towards up, then you are doing great. That is what it means. Next, please. How to become an effective entrepreneur? Anyone can be an entrepreneur. A guy with education, a guy without education can be an entrepreneur. There are many people who has become entrepreneur with academics and without academics. The person who doesn't have much academics, but he'll be having some skills that he possesses to be called as an entrepreneur. Let's find out some steps to be a best entrepreneur. Find your industry or niche. That means I was an information science student from NIT, and I was good at my academics. Not the best, but I was good. Okay, I was good. But I slowly figured out that I can do much better because although I was from an IT field, I switched on to business field, and then I got to know my inner knowledge, what I possess. Then it comes to research your market. So once you have found out this is what you want, this is what you are made for, then you have to research the market to start up a business. What is in demand? If you satisfy the demand, you can come up in life. Just for example, if you want to start up a business today, what people really require, that is how you need to search the market for. For example, you are starting up a business, and presently what is in demand? It is food. Obviously it is food. Until humans are there, we will be earning for food. So it is good to start up a food industries, food processing, marketing, export, anything, something related to food, so that you will not face much loss, at least on equal basis. If you are on a startup business, and at least on equal basis, you will go up. So educate yourself. After knowing the market, you should educate yourself. All of a sudden, if you have the market, if you have the finance, that is the capital, even though if you have it, you are not ready for it until you do your homework, that is educating yourself. So until and unless you do it, you will face failures. You will have to face the failures, and it may lead to debts. So build your business slowly. Never escalate yourself all of a sudden to the top level. um, previous slide please. Yes. Never escalate your business all of a sudden to the top level. Always give it some time. Say like small escalations, and it will reach you to the higher position, so that the foundation would be strong and you are at the right position. That is what I meant. Next slide please. Excuse me. Yes, there are four types of entrepreneurships. The way you start up your business, it is small business, scalable startups, large companies, and social types. So let me speak about this in detail in the next slide. Next, please. Okay. When I speak about small business entrepreneurships, these business are owned by hairdressers, grocery stores, travel agents, consultants, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, etc. Any people who are in ground level who wants to start up a business, this is the place where they start. They need not be in ground level itself. If they work hard and persevere a lot, they can come up to the best position it with this business itself actually. And the people run their own business and hire family members and local employee for this type of business. They don't recruit people, they don't recruit skilled people from outside. All they need to do is run the business. That is the reason they start up this business. So when it comes to scalable startup entrepreneurship, this startup entrepreneur starts the beginning business knowing the vision can change the world. He will be having the right vision, a strategic plan where he needs to do it in a right way on every month. Say like it is for a 1 year plan. Every month he will be having a single plan. So every month he implements that plans and makes sure that the progress is same. That is what I meant actually. And this kind of scalable startup entrepreneurs, they look for investors, that is the stakeholders, business partners. They can be like small business partners, say like investment, like if you are investing 20,000, the other guy also invests the 20,000 in smaller rate. The business goes well and at the same time they get the profit also. Next, please. Large company entrepreneurship. When I speak about this totally point out to the MNCs because they have the right plan more than the small scale industries also. These huge companies have definitely life cycles. As I told, a 1 year program would be implementing a lot of business ideas, strategic plans, and their ideas would be such that if you implement something today, the next month I need it in double. That is their ideas. Most of these companies grow and sustain by offering new and innovative products that revolve in their main products. So it is like showcasing things. Their main product is like a pen, and at the same time they'll be selling rubber and sharpener just to promote their main product, that is the pen. Okay, so what is social entrepreneurship? These are the special group who plays a major role in normal people life, that is for example NGOs, non-profitable organizations. They work with a tie-up with World Health Organizations and some government organizations such as UNICEF, something like that. And they get fund and they make sure that they do it for, they supply things for everyone. And this has no much profit margin and they'll be paid on daily wages or monthly wages. Next, please. Entrepreneurs' educational requirements. This is where most of the people come across a doubt because if you are not educated, then you start up a business and you call yourself entrepreneur. Although you are an entrepreneur, I don't say you would be a successful entrepreneur because a barrier stands: education, academics, because that is really important in today's lives. Because most of the people, if you need to speak to someone, although I'm from an information science department and I possess an engineering graduation, I also did my BCom in bachelor's in distance education. That is only because it makes me more efficient. I get more attached to people who am I working with because I'm on to business field as of now. So most of the entrepreneurs start their career with a business bachelor's degree or a specific bachelor's in entrepreneurship, and the both nourish their skills in MBA program because it is something related to business. Learning how to manage business enterprises stages of growth and development, see how bring small business to life. A small idea is enough. A small idea, if you are educated and you have a perfect vision or a goal, a small idea is enough because you are educated and you have the capability to speak to people, to convince them. That is what I meant by this statement. In addition to this MBA programs, you can take classes in the following also. And these courses, what you see here, that is entrepreneurial management, growth strategies, venture financing, and so on. You need not pay and attend these classes. There are a hell lot of webinars, hell lot of sessions in LinkedIn and in YouTube too, where you can attend it for free. and it is a certification course too if you are a dedicated person, and you can definitely do it. That is what my point of idea is. Next please. Managerial and leadership skills. This is what a business guy or an entrepreneur should possess. And there are some qualities and skills that I have mentioned here. These are the basic of the basic that a guy or a managerial guy who is under business role should possess. Used when organizing other people to reach the shared goals. Say like you are an entrepreneur and you have started a business. You will recruit a person whom you are 100% sure that if you pay 10 rupees, you can extract minimum of 50 to 60 rupees from him. That is how you manage your business and financial stuffs. And leadership skills require you to motivate others to complete a series of tasks often according to the schedule. Even though if you are having five people, five basic people, and out of this five people, you pick up the smartest one to manage them, and you should make yourself sure that you are supervising that guy to manage the remaining four. That is the idea what I meant by here. Hope I'm making meaning to everyone. It keeps meaning to them. Leadership is
Yes,
not
Diston.
just, yes, leadership is not just one skill, but rather a combination of several different skills working together. Say like you have a business meeting and you have to attend it, and the answer from the person who you are meeting is a no. And once you start speaking and you are making it is a yes, and that is how your skill is showing yourself, the skill what you possess in yourself, that is the communication skill or the negotiation skill what is possessed in yourself. So what are the qualities or skills what is being inside yourself to be a manager or a business guy? So I would say it is an active listening. Even though the guy is boring, you should let him speak, never interrupt, because you are being there for a business deal. So creativity. So the person opposite you would be giving out some ideas, and at the same time you say no, this is not right and you should be doing this, and that feels offended to the opposite person. So the way of approach matters. You say this could be also implemented, right? And if you implement this, I think we can do something much better than that. So that is something more convincing than being rude to people. Positively, positivity, even though you know it's not going to happen, you just give a positive thought. You just make yourself understand that it will work. That is the positivity what should everyone possess, and many a times it has helped me. Flexibility. You can't be rigid in business fields. Being an entrepreneur, you should be adapting to situations and flexible enough to take out decisions according to the situations. Ability to teach and mentor. You should be always able to teach someone something what you have, and mentoring at the same time. It's just as simple as that. Next please. Entrepreneurship financing. Being an entrepreneur, the major thing what everyone is facing today is capital. That is the finance, because every business need to be strong enough. A strong basement is done with the finance stuffs itself, because resource for entrepreneurs, small business loans, financing in the form of angel investors, venture capitalist, crowdfunding also have become popular way for entrepreneurs to raise the capital. Do you know what does crowdfunding means? Say like you are an investor in stocks and shares. You have bought a share of Ambani for 750 rupees. That is called as crowdfunding. But that 750 rupees, what you are investing on his shares, is going to make big difference to Ambani. because you are just a single person who has invested 750 rupees. Like you, thousands or crores together people have invested 750 rupees, a minimum amount. That is called as crowdfunding. That could be done in your business too. That is when you implement your computer ideas, being in part of stocks and share markets, and so on. So I'm just telling you, even though people are from information science, can come to business fields and implement the information science ideas into their business, making digitalizing and implementing the new softwares so that you can implement or escalate the way your company grows. You can see it right away. Bootstrapping for entrepreneurs. Building a company solely from your savings as an entrepreneur, as well as from the initial sales made from your business. You should make it is just related to benchmarking. If I have started a business, it is known in my name in future. But if I am working for someone else, your name wouldn't be recognized as an entrepreneur. That is as simple as that. No more no more explanation required for that. Next slide, please. So entrepreneurship and its hardships involved. When it comes to entrepreneurship, we come across different peoples of different ideas, different character, and different attitude. So when something goes wrong or something rude has been spoken to you, never react. Take it in a good way because you are an entrepreneur and you are there for your business. Never forget that. And grudge, enmity is not at all part of this field. If you keep that thing in your heart, never you can be successful. Because by at the end of the day, it is business. It is business what we are doing. Abandoning another career. If you are working in one career, say like I'm working for an IT company and I have lots of interest doing in to be an entrepreneur, and I would be thinking I can manage both. That you can't do, because if you are about to start up something, you should give your 100% towards it. That is what I have found it, and my mentors who have taught me that, highly official business people who has taught me that. So if you are onto some business, abandon the previous profession what you're going through and start up with a new business. That is what my idea is. And financing. As a brand new entrepreneur, you'll be starting from the scratch. This means you'll need to start networking and reach out to all possible funding options before landing on one. You will have to meet new people daily if you are trying to be an entrepreneur. Look for investors, because without investors your business won't go forward, because there is a limit where you can rely on loans and something like that. Once you find the right investors, that is the stakeholders or business partners. The best example is business partners. You can grow the business very well because they would have invested something, and it is their responsibility to make the business big. And always look for the best business people to invest. Say like I'm being open to you people. Say like people who have good background politically, financially, so and so that they would be able to cover up things even though if you are in a wrong way. Team building. It's not enough to search out candidate who fill certain roles. You furthermore need more consider their cost to the business, their culture fit, and the way they'll work as part of your overall team. Just by interviewing a person, you can't tell him that he's the right person for the process. So because you can do that in an MNC, but when you are an entrepreneur, you'll have to be really careful, because if you are, as I told, if you are paying 10 rupees for him, you should be able to extract 60 rupees from him. So that could be done from only close observations and the skill what he possesses. Entrepreneurship. How does entrepreneurship impact the economy? Entrepreneurship increases employment and decreases poverty. Even a person who is educated but he has no proper job, we can take him and train him sometimes and put him into basic roles. Thereby, you are decreasing the poverty and increasing the employment rate and so on. So let me go through the this another points. Say like entrepreneurship opens new markets and stimulate the economy. Say like if you're working in India or you are having an export business too, you can earn foreign exchange and thereby you can increase the economy of the country. And entrepreneurship helps to increase the national income, as I told, foreign exchange. Entrepreneurship further social charges in society, further social charges in society such that NGOs, non-profitable organization, it would be something valuable to the society. Next, please. So the myths about entrepreneurship. There are a hell lot of myths and reality on entrepreneurship. So the mouth-to-mouth speaking, that is, I speak to someone else saying that entrepreneurship is really easy. All you need to do is invest some capital and you are done. The thing will go on if you have some employees. That is the place where myth starts and it is not at all realities. Next, please. So entrepreneurs like leaders are born not to made are not made, because an entrepreneur never instructs, just not only just instructs, sometimes he has to get in the field and be right to next to his employees. Because recently I came across a situation in my own company. Say like my supervisor was so rude to the person, and he was a skilled person. Say like the employee was a skilled person and he was about to quit the job. And I personally got to know about this situation, and my supervisor was not ready to what to say compile with that person. So I personally went to him, convinced him, and made him stay. That's only because I need his service. In return, obviously, it is barter system. I take his skill and I pay him. That is how it works. So entrepreneurs are academic and socially misfits. Say like Ambani families. Dhirubhai Ambani had no formal education. Patu, he is a rich person. He's a millionaire. Bill Gates has been a school dropout. He is also is not having a proper education during his entrepreneurship. Later, he achieved some degrees from prominent universities. When I speak about this, I got to know about a person called as Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. Just like Amazon, he is well flourished. He is a well flourished company called as Alibaba. He has he has implemented all the technologies as much as possible in his facilities. Just like Amazon, he has godowns all over the world. His main place is China. As of now, I'm not supposed to talk about China, but we are speaking about his ideas and his innovations, what he has went through. So when it comes to that, he has implemented a lot of ideas and technologies in his business as an entrepreneur, wherein he has faced a lot of failures, but he is a successful person and a multi-billionaire today. Education makes entrepreneur a true entrepreneur. As I told, without education, it is very difficult to succeed in life as an entrepreneur. Next slide, please. To be an entrepreneur, a great idea is the only ingredient. A good or great idea shall remain an idea unless there is a proper combination of all resources, including management. Ideas, capital, and practical ideas. These all are part of a cycle. You need both the tires to roll the cycle. Say like if one tire is punctured, that is the idea is punctured and you have the capital, you will be dragged at the same place. You will not show progress. You will be dragging. That is what I meant in this quote. One wants to be an entrepreneur as having no boss is great fun. Say like if I'm the boss. I'm the boss and I have my employees under me. If I show my bossism rather than being with them and motivating them, so there is my loss. There is my loss, and I wouldn't be what to say, I wouldn't be respected at the same time. So I should be joining hands with the people who am I working with, at the same time increasing the economy of my company. Next, please. So if someone has some questions or questions to be asked, I'll be happy to answer it.
Dear participants, I request all the participants to actively interact with Diston Jacob, and if you have any questions connected to this event, please post the questions in the chat box, or else you can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions.
My friends, I request everyone to speak up because this is an interactive session and I wish to talk to you everyone. Anything, please.
Please feel free to talk to Diston Jacob. He's your senior and he is a very nice guy who can interact with everyone. So ask your questions, and if you want to start up any entrepreneurship, if you have any thoughts in your mind about starting up an entrepreneurship, so I think Diston is the right person to communicate. You can just ask some questions to him.
And also I remember one quote my mentor used to tell me, that is my Sudeep sir. When there is a will, where there is a will, there is a way. So I implemented that idea while I was in France. During the lockdown, I was not able to come out of my house actually. So at that moment, I had no other way because I'm sitting idle and my colleges are closed for almost 2 to 3 weeks, almost a month, I guess. So at that time, I started searching online for some online jobs. Then I came across a consultancy where they recruit people for soft skill training for French people. So they told me you have an interview. So I said, yes, fine, I'll attend that interview. And I attended it and I got selected. And I've been working as a soft skill trainer for French people for almost 3 weeks. That is almost a month. And after coming back to India, finishing my course, I got an offer from MIT College, Mysore, MIT Mysore. Proud to say this as an NIT guy. I got an offer from MIT College saying that they are looking for soft skill trainer. So my friend contacted me and I had to give him an interview. And I asked him, do you want my service? He said, of course, yes. How can I reject you? And I had served for almost a week in MIT College as a soft skill trainer for engineering department.
This is indeed really a very good appreciation, Diston. We are happy to see that you have become a software trainer and you have trained so many students. It's a proud moment to all the NIIT people.
Yes.
So good to see you as a trainer. I'm really proud of you and I'm very happy that you are training a lot of people and you are very down to earth and very humble student.
Thank you, sir.
And today I'm very much happy that you have, yeah.
Sir, and
Over to you, Diston.
yes, sir. I wanted to tell you this because I was ready to do anything so that it fetches me right amount of money and that increases my economy. So with the skill what I possessed, I started being a soft skill trainer too. That is what I meant actually.
Yes, it was really indeed a wonderful approach, Diston. We would like to have you back in our college to train our students. That's what, as an alumni, as a teacher and mentor, I would expect you to be a part of this institution and organization. I think any questions from students end? Please feel free to talk to Diston. if you have any questions, we'll take away some of the questions, and then if you don't have any questions, we'll further proceed.
So, well, good evening, sir. This is Sanjana. I'm Manjunath from 4th Sem ISC. So, the question is, like, what do you even look for in an employee, sir?
Actually, when it comes to employee, I don't know about other people or other organizations. I not only look for academics, what they have studied or what they possess or what the degrees what they hold. I always look whether they are capable enough. If I put a system through, whether they can work on that. If I'm saying something, whether they can compile within it. That's all I look for. Because if they have the capability to do that, I can train them. I can train them very well. That's all what I look for in an employee.
Thank you, sir.
Hope Sanjana, your question got answered, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Completely.
Yes.
Any more questions
sir.
from the participants? Dear participants, do you have any more questions to ask from Diston Jacob?
Yes, guys, please open up. I'm not a mean person. You can ask me anything.
Yeah, Diston Jacob is very friendly. I'm happy to announce that he was the first student in my project batch, and I think
Yes,
he has
sir,
done a
yes.
lot of work.
Yes, sir.
I would
How can
really
I
want
forget?
to tell this to all the students. Yeah, of course, it was indeed a rigorous process during his course of presentation. And I
Yes, sir.
think he presented a wonderful paper. It was present in a conference, I guess, right,
Yes, sir.
Diston?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was a
Sir,
joint collaboration. That was the first paper which I presented along with my students.
yes,
So it's
sir.
a proud moment.
Yes, sir. Actually, that gave me a, what to say, that gave me a push when I went to France. Actually, I had to make 93 PPTs all over my course, sir. All over my
Oh,
course. Every session had a PPT presentation, wherein I attended every presentations boldly. That could be only possible from your end, sir. That is only because of your training, sir. And
yeah,
I'm
it's
really
all
helpful, sir.
because of your hard work. I would say it's like we see, we are like Dronacharya. I hope if you remember Mahabharata,
Yes, sir. Yes.
there is Guru Drona who is always teaching lot of students. Arjuna, Duryodhana, all people, all different kinds of students are there. It's about the student willingness and aim that actually takes up the goal at the end of the day. So I'm sure that you are such one wonderful student who took that motive and took it in a different direction, and now you are an entrepreneur. I'm happy to see that you are an entrepreneur.
It's a
So
prestigious time.
with this note, I think yeah, with this note, I'm very much happy that and thank Diston for your wonderful presentation. I'm sure that all the participants are motivated by your talk, and uh, if there is any questions from the participants, you can unmute yourself or you can post the question in the chat box. I
Yes.
think Diston is always in touch with us. So if you don't have any questions now, but if you have any questions in further, you can just drop the particular message to me or Diston. I think Diston, you can put your email ID to the chat box so that students, if they want any questions from their end, they will pose it to you. Over to you, Diston.
Yes, sir.
So Diston is putting the his email ID in the chat box. Yeah. So his email ID is being posted in the chat box, students. So you can just hello, hello.
Yes, sir. It's audible, sir.
You
Please
are
go on, sir.
audible, sir.
Yeah, fine. So Will, I think we have now come to the end of the session. So on behalf of NIIT family and NIIT Alumni Association, I would like to thank Diston Jacob for his valuable presentation and making this presentation a successful one. He accepted, see, it was just an invitation, formal invitation to Diston Jacob, and immediately once I gave an invitation to him to say a few words to our students, he readily accepted our invitation, and in spite of his busy schedule, he took our invitation and he has presented the presentation in a very beautiful way. So I would like to thank you, Diston, for your wonderful presentation, making this event a wonderful grand success. So with this note, thank you, Diston, and I would like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. Bansilal sir, who has given us an opportunity to host this particular event. Thank you, sir. And I would like to thank Dr. Archana NV, President NIIT Alumni Association, and Dr. Nalini KB, Secretary NIIT Alumni Association, for providing an opportunity to conduct this event and make this event a grand success. So with this note, I would like to thank all the EXICOM executive members and office bearers of NIIT Alumni Association for actually providing the constant support and the logistic support to host this event and making this event a grand success. Thank you all. Next, I would like to thank our beloved HOD, Dr. Nandini MS, who is always been the backbone of any event that we conduct at the department level. She's the one who motivated and supported us to conduct this event. So thank you, Nandini madam, for your support and motivational support to all of us.
Thank you, Sudeep.
Okay, ma'am.
Nice presentation,
thank you,
Diston.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. It's been great.
Yeah. Special thanks to my fellow counterparts, Mr. Girish and Sri Nagendra sir, for making all the necessary arrangements and providing the support for making this event successful one. I would like to thank all the participants and my fellow department staffs for their active participations and making this event a grand success. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my presenter and of course my dear student, Diston Jacob, who has always been with us and has motivated many people in all their lives. So thank you, Diston Jacob, for giving such a nice presentation and making this event a wonderful one. Last but not the least, I would like to thank everyone. Each one of you have contributed your valuable time, precious time, and making this event a grand success. So with this, I think we have come to the end of our session. So thank you one and all for joining this event and made this event a successful one. Thank you one and all.
Thank you.
Everyone. Have a good day. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can we have a photo session, Nagendra sir, now?
Yes, sir.
Nagendra sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I request all the participants, please enable your cameras for a few minutes for the photo session. I request all the participants, please enable your camera.
Tristan.
Nagendra sir, photos enable agide nodi alla.
Oh, sir.
Please enable your cameras, all of you, for a photo snap.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. So shall we quit? Nagendra sir.
Signing
Thank
off.
you, Diston.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Thank you, Diston. Thank you. Thank you very much.